Well, thank you for joining us. This is Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguela. The United Kingdom says it sees a lot of positivity in the current trajectory of the Nigerian economy, built on the back of what it acknowledges to be difficult but necessary reforms by President Bola Tinubu. British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Richard Montgomery, said this during an audience with Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, at her office in the villa. State House correspondent Adeni reports.
It's the first formal engagement between Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, and the British High Commissioner, Richard Montgomery, along with his team.
You relate more
Their conversation,
with the government,
which centered around a shared interest in women empowerment, took off on a note of acknowledgement, applauding the impact of ongoing economic reforms in the country.
And indeed, the UK has an enhanced trade and investment partnership with Nigeria. We are watching with great interest the new opportunities being created by the reforms of His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, your husband. And as I hope you have seen, the UK has been very public supporters of these very brave, bold and difficult reforms. We understand that these reforms create short-term challenges, but we see lots of positivity now in the economy, and our British business colleagues are looking at those opportunities.
Impressed by the track record of the New Hope initiative as a special purpose vehicle delivering empowerment to women in key areas, the three-man delegation is here to also have a better understanding of its policy initiatives.
We are particularly interested in the work which the RHI and you yourself have done to promote women's empowerment, but we have a very strong focus also on women's economic empowerment, both in the formal sector, such as banking, financial technologies, but also the informal sector.
Happy to avail our guests with details of RHI support for women in agriculture, business and ICT, the First Lady also highlighted the limit placed on our interventions by lack of budget.
And we're trying to meet the challenges in different ways that we can. It's quite tough when you have an office and there is no budget that supports that office. People expect much from the wife of the president, when it comes to social issues. And I think we just have to step forward to take such responsibility.
She agreed with her guest that the number of women in the National Assembly is dwindling and promised to cooperate with ongoing process to improve the numbers. A special seat bill, which seeks to create additional legislative seats for women in national and state houses of assembly, is undergoing debate in the ongoing review of 1999 Constitution. In the State House, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
In other reports, the United States mission in Nigeria has applauded news of the capture by security agents the wanted Ansaru terrorist group leaders Mahmoud Mohammed Usman, a.k.a. Abu Bara, and Mahmoud al-Nijeri, a.k.a. Malam Mahmouda. In a statement, the U.S. mission observed that the arrest is a significant forward in Nigeria's fight against terrorism and extremism, as the two had also been on the wanted list of the UK, USA and the UN. They are leaders of the Jama'atu Ansarul Muslimina fi Biladis Sudan, commonly known as Ansaru, Nigeria's Al-Qaeda affiliate, and the two men have been responsible for masterminding many terrorist attacks against Nigeria over the past years. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has returned to Nigeria from a short vacation during which he attended the 6th World Conference of Speakers of Parliaments organized by the Inter-Parliamentary Union in Geneva. He also spent part of the vacation in London. While speaking on arrival at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja this Monday, Akpabio assures Nigerians of robust legislative engagements with the executive and all the stakeholders for the well-being of the country.
'Cause I love you, 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 I l wasn't a normal international parliamentary union meeting. This was something that happens once every 5 years. And we use that opportunity to highlight the achievements of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So we are looking at the post-oil economy, post-gas economy. What can we do? We must exist. And so that's what the tax reform has done. And we also looked at the most vulnerable in the society. We are tinkering with parts of the Constitution to see where we can include more women in the parliament. Mr. President has gone on diplomatic shuttles to try to bring more dividends of democracy to Nigeria. So it's important that I stay at home with the Vice President.
The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to the African Union's Declaration on Africa's Development. The African Union has called on member states to allocate sufficient funding to the agricultural sector to boost food production and reduce reliance on imports. Musa Baba Aliyu reports.
In 2023, African Union member states signed a treaty in Maputo, Mozambique, pledging to allocate 10% of their annual budgets to agriculture to achieve a 6% annual growth in agricultural productivity. In 2024, a review in Kampala, Uganda, revealed that most African nations have not made significant investments in agriculture. The treaty was redefined, and the leaders produced a document that will aid in achieving the set goals. Now, key stakeholders in Nigeria's agricultural sector convened to discuss strategies for meeting the AU treaty's objectives.
Nigeria has committed substantial investment in the agricultural sector through various initiatives to increase production and productivity, enhance commodity value chains, create jobs, improve livelihoods, reduce post-harvest losses.
The session also reviewed 2025-2027 National Agri-Food Systems Investment Plan. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Former Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo is advocating building stronger institutions to foster Africa's growth and development. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that this was at the National Defense College Course 33 graduation lecture in Abuja.
Nigeria, with vast ungoverned space, has for decades experienced different security challenges. Terrorism in the northeast, banditry in the northwest and central, and IPOB in the southeast. Though these security challenges are partly attributed to institutional failure, the Minister of Defense stressed the commitment of the present administration in changing the tide.
Nigeria is committed to strengthening institutions for efficient governance. Evidently, leadership appointments, reforms, and new frameworks are deliberately designed to enrich accountability, professionalism, and coordination.
As the future strategic leaders, it is essential that you fully appreciate the pivotal role strong institutions play in delivering good governance. Without such institutions, there cannot be lasting security or sustainable development.
And holding the executive accountable.
The lead speaker at the event, former president of Ghana, focusing on strengthening institutions for good governance in Africa, harps on tackling corruption, reforming courts, security agencies, addressing poverty, adopt technology, and reduce donor dependency.
Africa's future will not be built by chance. It will be built by strong institutions and bold leadership. It will be built by very deliberate steps by a continent that is ready to evolve.
99 participants, including 23 officers from allied countries, are set to graduate in the course 33 of the prestigious military training institution. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Whole of government and society approach is needed to effectively arrest the scourge of illicit small arms and light weapons in Nigeria and West Africa. This was at the Warfare CAS 9 Interagency Seminar on the theme, Strengthening Security Agencies' Collaboration to Counter Illicit Arms Proliferation for Enhanced National Security in Nigeria. Paul Abel reports.
In 2021, it was estimated that over 260,000 persons died as a result of illicit small arms and light weapons usage in the world, while 700 deaths were recorded in one day. Considering the negative impact of this menace on the development of the nation, Naval War College Nigeria Warfare Course 9 participants, as part of their module in this inter-agency seminar, have been exposed to the importance of collaboration to counter illicit arms and proliferation.
The ability of our security agencies to work together and effectively is paramount towards ensuring success in countering the challenge of illicit arms flow into our country.
The impact of this illicit arms proliferation is profound and multifaceted. These weapons fuel various forms of insecurity, including terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, communal clashes, and armed robbery.
The fight against illicit small arms and light weapons proliferation cannot be won by the security agencies alone, as it requires a whole-of society approach.
Panel discussions and contributions from audience on effective implementation of recommendations formed part of the program. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
If we do not reshape the minds of our youth, the paupers, the world will shape them without it. Hence the need to empower them to think, build, and lead, not just to survive, but to become self-sufficient forces of change, which becomes imperative. Those were the words of the President of the Nigerian Air Force Officers' Wives Association, NAFOA, at the inauguration of the Young Achievers Club in Abuja. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports.
As the custodians of the sky toil day and night projecting air power to ensure national security, their spouses are not only praying for their safety, but putting on the whole garment of parenting. One of such is this initiative by NAFOA leadership to embark on a journey where young ones will be nurtured, guided and inspired to dream big, work hard and be ready to take on responsibilities as leaders of tomorrow.
This club is more than just a platform. It is a family where our children and youths can learn values, build skills, discover their talents, and grow in confidence.
By the time you harness the youth, the children, the tomorrow's leaders, and culture them, educate them, guide them, it is hope and belief that our country will move forward.
Jemima Yakubu, a 200-level student of the University of Abuja, described the initiative as timely as it will brace and equip her with requisite entrepreneurial skills to face the challenges of the future.
Most times what we tend to do in the future doesn't end up being what we are in the future. So whatever trade I'm learning here is going to give me a helping hand.
Like for me, I'm going to take interest in this cake baking. It's going to be for me like a source of income.
The idea of establishing this club by NAFOA was born out of the necessity to guide their wards on their career choices, instill morals and leadership skills, as well as assist them in the management of the stress, anxiety and pressure that comes with transitioning into adulthood. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
No fewer than 2,000 youths in Zamfara State are to undergo a 3-day digital literacy training under the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu. The training aims to unlock participants' digital potentials. Haliru Mohammed reports.
The renewed hope agenda President Bola Tinubu is pushing for increased digital literacy in Nigeria, with several initiatives being introduced to boost digital literacy, particularly among the youth. These are parts of the 2,000 prospective beneficiaries of the initiative drawn from across Zamfara State, receiving training on digital marketing, cyber security, data analysis, and social media monetization, among other areas for enhanced economic growth.
They can actually do all that, say their mind online, and gain from it.
These improvisations of ideas of digital literacy empowerment of the youth is a very good foundation.
The training, which was very interactive, saw the participants subjected to oral tests, where those who performed well received laptops, tablets, and financial support for self-employment.
I learned so many things, like this data analysis. I like to study data analysis.
These laptops will be of benefit to me.
President of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu Voice Project, Mubarak Yunusa, says the training aligns with President Tinubu's vision to create over 1 million jobs in the digital economy, stressing that the initiative will promote digital inclusion. The training is expected to continue online for further digital empowerment. In Gusau, Halil Muhammad Umar, NTA News.
Ahead of the 2027 general elections, the Director General of Mariam Babangida Women Development Center, Dr. Asabe Velita, and other strategic partners have raised advocacies for women inclusion in politics and governance. She was speaking during an engagement of critical advocates of the reserved seat bill for women, where political inclusion and support for the female gender and President Bola Tinubu's administration took center stage.
And we can see light at the end of the tunnel because almost everybody seems to like this bill, and by the grace of God, it will be passed.
What we are begging the men to do for us is that they should allow us to support them. We are not telling them to leave. We are not taking their seat. We are begging them to give us seat, extra seat.
Don't you think it's too early to judge the success or failure of the government under 2 years? It's not yet even a full term. So we should at least wait for that full term to expire before we can begin to judge whether it is a failure or not.
The stakeholders said they are women who have performed exceptionally well and deserve opportunities to contribute meaningfully for the growth and development of the country. So we head to Lagos now to join Hingino John Adams to bring us our next set of reports. Hello, Hingino.
Thank you, Ruth, and welcome to Lagos. To increase the rate of tax compliance, Nigerians across various strata of society expect government at all levels to utilize the next 4 months window period for sensitization on the importance and expectations of the 4 new tax laws. This, they emphasize, is crucial before implementation commences on January 1, 2026. Amaka O reports.
The 4 Tax Reforms Act signed into law on June 26th by the President received commendations from various experts who consider the new reforms as a harmonized strategy and an additional boost to the nation's revenue earning base that will enable and deepen implementation of public services and foster economic growth.
There is a reduction in company income tax. It's called company income tax in Nigeria. That will persuade more investors to come to Nigeria and invest, which bring more jobs for average Nigerians.
Experts believe that the harmonized law will promote transparency and accountability, as part of it stipulates that income earners who make 800,000 naira and below per annum are exempted from income tax, and 25% income tax for businesses that earn from 50 million naira and above per annum.
That will improve the economy, so that the lower people on income tax brands, 800,000 naira downward, we have more money in their pockets.
Some Nigerians are of the view that understanding the Tax Reforms Act is imperative to cut down tax evasion and enhance compliance.
I don't really know much about it, but to go to every local area so that people will understand more. People that are selling pepper, they are selling this now, so that they can tell them in their own local language.
So that is where government will have to work, our National Orientation Agency, to sensitize the on the need first to pay their tax, and people must see to what use this tax we pay is being put into. If we talk about education, we talk about health, we talk about road infrastructure.
Ahead of the implementation in year 2026, the tax reforms signals a new dawn in the tax ecosystem. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
The recently approved Social Security scheme for retirees under the federal government program has been widely applauded by Nigerians who describe the initiative as a welcome development. Ime Udori spoke with a cross-section of pensioners and a public affairs analyst in Lagos, and her report is here presented.
The administration of President Bola Tinubu has continued to demonstrate a forward-thinking approach in its quest to deliver good governance. This commitment is reflected in its policies and programs, including the new tax regime, pension reforms, and other social interventions to improve the welfare of Nigerian workers, particularly retirees. The president directed the expedited rollout of a free healthcare access initiative for low-income retirees under the contributory pension scheme.
For us, it was a dream come true. We only pray and hope that the appropriate authorities will ensure that all the pensioners who are entitled to these increases get it as at when due.
In August 2025, President Tinubu further called for the prompt implementation of long overdue pension increases and the introduction of a minimum pension guarantee alongside other welfare packages aimed at providing safety nets for the most vulnerable pensioners under the defined benefit scheme. Policy and public affairs analyst speaks on other areas of intervention that government can provide for pensioners.
They can provide housing where retirees, pensioners can have, affordable housing for themselves, and they also be able to take some relief in terms of the education of their children.
For pensioners, this provides the long-awaited breath of relief, easing the financial and health burdens many have faced in retirement.
I thank Mr. President for remembering us.
Many of us are happy. Me, I'm happy.
As government continues to roll out intervention schemes to improve the lives of Nigerians, these measures reinforce the promise of the renewed hope agenda, making the hope of the common man not just a slogan, but a reality in the daily lives of citizens.
Those are the reports from Lagos. Nationwide continues with Mary Damtour in Jos after the break.
You're still on to Nationwide News. Welcome to Jos. Sequel to the determination of the federal government to stop proliferation of small arms and light weapons in circulation, General Officer Commanding 3DIV and Commander Operation Safe Haven, Major General Folunsho Oyinlola, has handed over 220 recovered small arms and light weapons to the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons in Jos. Ijama Ozemena has more.
The federal government's strategy of mopping up illicit weapons and control its proliferation approved the establishment of the Center to institutionalize and mainstream its eradication efforts. In view of this, the Operation Safe Haven is stemming the tide of criminal attacks on communities and individuals. It's using both kinetic and non-kinetic approaches to ensure the mandate of the operation is achieved. The General Officer commanding 3 divisions says the operations have led to the recovery of illegal weapons such as 84 den guns, 66 locally fabricated revolver rifles, 27 AK-47 rifles, and 8 locally fabricated AK-47 rifles. Others are 1 locally fabricated SMG, an automatic pistol, 20 locally fabricated pistols, a locally fabricated pump action, 4 double barrels, and 3 mortars, among others.
The combined effect of our efforts have led to the neutralization of numerous bandits in meeting engagements, arrest of suspects, recovery of weapons, as well as the arrest of gun runners and prosecution.
Receiving the recovered weapons, the Director General of the Center represented commended the leadership of OPSH for the success recorded.
2023, a sizable number of weapons were also recovered here. Today, we are here to take over more.
He urged the troops to sustain the tempo to curtail activities of criminals in their joint operation areas in Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
Governor Caleb Mutfwang says his administration will do all within its power to digitize education at all levels in the state because of its immense benefits. This was while launching the Nigeria Learning Passport at Government House Jos. Bilkis Sunuhu reports.
The Nigeria Learning Passport is a digital platform that provides opportunity for the learner to access educational contents online and also engage in distance learning. Governor Mutfwang, who lauded the initiative, reiterated the commitment of his administration to ensuring the enhancement of public education at all levels.
I appreciate this initiative by all the critical stakeholders in the education sector, coordinated by SUBEB. I want to urge you to make sure that we take this as far as we can.
The Commissioner for Education, Dr. Kachalom Gang, says the state government has paid all counterpart funds to UNICEF, hence the purposeful partnership that is yielding positive results.
In today's world, the ability to access, understand, and evaluate information using digital technology is no longer optional. It is essential.
The UNICEF Chief of Field Office Bauchi, Dr. Nazat Rafiki, represented and the Executive Chairman of SUBEB, hammered on the importance of e-learning.
The Nigerian Learning Passport is not only for the learners, it is also for the teachers, because they can use it to access learning content.
The journey to making today a reality has been through deliberate and fruitful engagements with our development partners like UNICEF.
Plateau State is one of the few states to embark on the online initiative. In Jos, Bilkis Sunuhu, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Jos. Ruth is still standing by in our Abuja studio. Good evening.
Thank you, Mary. The 12 Nigerian men stranded in the Central African Republic, whose video went viral some 3 weeks ago, have finally returned home. It was an emotionally laden moment for the rescued Nigerians as they narrated their ordeal while on a visit to the Nigerians and Diaspora Commission. Deborah Bala-Bubu reports.
It was a hard life as the returnees shared their harsh ordeal in the war-torn nation. They alleged that despite owing them 11 months of salaries, the Chinese employers subjected them to many forms of deprivation, including sexual abuse while in the Central African Republic. Leader of the group, Igorigo Freedom, said they had suffered a lot in the past 20 months and are grateful for the support from the Nigerian government and the NIDCOM intervention.
When that went on, we were still patient until the work stopped. And when the work stopped, they said we should remain in the bush there. To our surprise, they evacuated 4 Chinese. And I went to the commandant, the military there, that they should not allow the people to evacuate the 2 remaining 2 Chinese. That if they left, they would not care for us again. Then they came for another Chinese, they took him away to Bangui. And when they wanted to do that, some of us who have been agitating to come back to Nigeria, demanding for our passport for almost 4 months, wanted to follow the truck. But they were intimidated with rifles and the way soldiers operate. So we have to hang back. Then at the end of the day, they removed the last Chinese. So that is when we said, okay, let us call the attention of our brothers in Nigeria.
We're glad you're home.
Thank you.
Put the experience, learn from the experience, put it behind hold, demand for justice for you. And I'm sure when we tell them here, they should be able to find those people and give them the right kind of treatment. So life itself is an experience. Yes. But the most important thing, you are alive to tell your stories.
The NIDCOM boss condemned the acts as inhumane and assured that the matter would be pursued to ensure justice is served in line with the citizen diplomacy of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. In Abuja, Deborah Balagubu, NT News.
3 local government areas in Akwa Ibom State have been selected as pilot for the federal government's Maternal, a neonatal mortality reduction innovation initiative. The initiative has been fully implemented with beneficiaries already testifying about its usefulness. Clement Barrique reports.
So I was told I will be operated on. So because of the program so much, I gave birth to my twins. There was no hope. But all thanks to insurance, that day I put to bed, they did not charge me anything. I'm alive, my 2 boys are alive.
Mary Uko and Mary Akpan are among several other women in Akwa Ibom State who have cheated death at childbirth thanks to the implementation of the Maternal and Neonatal Mortality Reduction Innovation (MAMI) initiative in the state. Of course, those who were not able to make it before now died because of delays in seeking care. With the implementation of the MAMI program, the federal government is saying enough of the deaths during delivery of babies in Akwa Ibom State.
The president said it's intolerant to any woman dying or risking her life to bring another life. So it is that passion, that vision that the coordinating minister is pursuing with Mr. President.
With this development, Akwa Ibom State joins 32 others to benefit from the initiative. Clement Barikui, NTA News.
All right, let's join Clement now to give us more insight into this initiative that is saving lives of mothers and babies. Let's see, Clement.
All right, thank you so much. First, let me say that the state was selected because it has a maternal mortality rate of well above 1,000, which is beyond the national average of 512 per 100,000 live births. As we speak, an implementation task force is already on ground to drive the initiative. The task force is currently identifying those salient factors that have led to maternal and neonatal deaths in the state. It is also creating awareness among pregnant women, particularly those in rural communities, on the need to seek health care from the professionals at no cost. Let me add that MAMI is being implemented in the state through 2 platforms. We have the Comprehensive Obstetrics and Newborn Care, CIMONG, and the Basic Emergency Obstetrics and Newborn Care, BIMONG. For now, about 4 health facilities have been empaneled for CIMONG in the state. The MAMI initiative is one of the federal government programs in Akwa Ibom State that is receiving lots of commendations across all sectors.
All right, thank you, Clement. Such a laudable initiative there, and it only takes political will to see it implemented. And talking about political will, in Plateau State, we had a state government is demonstrating political will to achieve 100% universal coverage in the state. Chief Immunization Officer of the state, Luka Izam, stated this in Jos, while giving an update of immunization exercises from January to date. Priscilla Gurumnan reports.
Immunization plays a vital role in protecting individuals, especially children under age 5, for preventable diseases. Giving an update on immunization exercises in Plateau State from January to date, Chief Immunization Officer says the state embarked on routine immunization, the big catch-up, as well as the National Immunization Plus Days.
For the National Immunization Plus Days that was conducted in April and June, we achieved over 100% in that. While we achieved much on that, was that we have all the structures that is required and all the necessary support that is required. I want to say categorically clear that yes, we are, in terms of any campaign, the state is doing very, very well.
However, key challenges including inadequate funding, human resources for health, as well as nonchalant attitude of some caregivers are being witnessed, but surmountable. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
So we're seeing the aspect there in just to achieve 100% coverage of universal coverage. Let's join Bilkisu now. There, Because great, I could see you. Tell us, how significant, we're talking about the progress recorded in the immunization process of achieving 100% coverage.
Plateau State is actively engaged in various immunization activities, which include routine immunization, catch-up campaigns, and polio immunization drives, with a focus on reaching the children in high-risk areas and combating vaccine hesitancy. The state is also working to improve infrastructure and resources of immunization services. Key immunization activities in Plateau State for 2020. Hello? Hello?
I could hear you. Go ahead. Bilkisu, go ahead. Okay, there, our correspondent from Plateau trying to give us update into efforts, being taken on the strides recorded for universal health coverage. Immunization, actually, 100% is the target. Well, we'll flip to other issues. Nigeria's telecommunications industry is set to attract $1 billion worth of investment before the end of the year as the country strengthens grip on a formidable digital economy. These and many others were revealed in a strategic engagement between media executives and the executive vice chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission in Abuja. Ayo Deji Makinde reports.
The Nigerian Communications Commission emphasized its commitment to enforcement and transparency, managing over 1,000 operators nationwide. NCC Executive Vice Chairman Aminu Maida reviewed plans to release consumer satisfaction, compliance and service quality indices aimed at boosting accountability and investor confidence.
Has an aspiration to build 90,000 kilometers of fiber, which is going to bring in approximately $2 billion of investment into the country. So what we need to grow this industry is fresh investment.
Issues like failed top-ups, confusing data plans, high call rates, fiber cuts and restricted access to telecom sites are under review, with a directive to all providers to simplify tariffs and data bundle plans.
Nobody is stealing the data. It was more of a perception issue. And every time we had them engage with their customers, there was this realization that flicking of YouTube I'm doing is consuming so much data. When I just open my hotspot and I allow everyone to connect, don't you realize that the person that is using your hotspot, are you in control of what he's doing?
The NCC reiterated that only verified and registered numbers remain active across networks. With over 100 million connected users and growing concerns over data consumption, tips on managing usage were shared. In Abuja, Ayodeji, Makinde, NTA News.
The Nigerian Institute of Training and Development, NITAD, is set to host its 32nd annual Trainers Conference, a premier event for practitioners nationwide. The conference, guest on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria, reiterates offer insights on revamping training programs and enhancing human capital development in Nigeria.
Transformation to achieve the national transformation. And technology is at the center of it. So last year we looked at digital world. Of course, everything about digital is technology. So this year we are converging again at the 32nd annual conference to look deeper into how can we harness these very important aspects of national transformation, looking at people, looking at technology to get that performance that will lead to national transformation.
When professionals in this space come together, they will, bring together their experiences over the years and identify areas that might require improvement.
Optimism that effective capacity building, especially in public sectors, fuels inclusive development and empowers workers to tackle future challenges with resilience and strategic competence, stressing that prioritizing this is paramount. Port Harcourt is our next stop, and Gabriel is set for us. Hello, Gabriel.
Our State Administrative Vice Admiral Iboka Teibas says political stability is gradually being restored in the state through inclusive dialogue and non-partisan consultation with key stakeholders. He was speaking during a courtesy visit by the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on Emergency Rule Implementation, led by Professor Julius Ihomvere at the Government House, Port Harcourt. Osinachi Samuel reports.
The committee is in the state for an on-the-spot assessment of the aftermath of the emergency rule and the successes recorded so far, as well as areas that require urgent interventions. The state administrator is pleased to inform them that the reconciliation efforts and willingness of political actors to collaborate have laid the foundation for lasting peace and stability in the state. Acknowledging President Bola Tinubu's pivotal role in facilitating the peace process, reforms in governance and civil service, the administrator highlighted ongoing reforms, including clearance of long-standing arrears owed to health workers, among others.
I want to place on record, Mr. Chairman, the great effort and hard work that the majority of Rivers State civil servants have put into service delivery. I am confident that they will take ownership and build on the momentum we have all gained in our journey towards a world-class bureaucracy that is vibrant, motivated, well-trained, and resourced.
Chairman of the committee, Professor Julius, explained that their visit aimed to assess ongoing projects, understand governance challenges, stakeholders.
We see evidence of peace, order. We see evidence of people going about their respective businesses. It's evidence that Rivers is moving in the right direction.
As the administration advances its reform agenda, all eyes remain on its ability to enforce contractors' compliance, revive legacy projects, and deliver tangible benefits to the people of Rivers State. In Port Harcourt, Osinachi Samuel, NTA News.
Well, that's a report from Port Harcourt. Nationwide, we'll continue with our Maiduguri studios after the break. Stay with us.
Nationwide under NTA, the news belt now continues in Maiduguri as part of efforts to cushion the hardship faced by the recent flood victims in Borno State. The Northeast Development Commission, NEDC, has flagged off distribution of relief materials comprising food and non-food items to no fewer than 3,200 affected households. Fatima Isa completes the story.
The recent flood, which ravaged some communities in Borno State, left many families displaced and in their needs of assistance, hence the intervention by the Northeast Development Commission, NEDC. State coordinator of the commission, Umar Wasada, while supervising the exercise, explained that the gesture is part of NEDC's mandate to support communities affected by emergencies in the Northeast.
Some of the communities in Bulunkutu, Abuja, Bulunkutu Saleke, Bulunkutu Gomari, Ajilari Cross, Pompomari Bypass, Zajeri were affected. So it's just like a flash flood. But when we communicated that to the management, then based on that need assessment, some food items were approved.
Some beneficiaries who received the items commended the commissions for the timely intervention, stressing that the support has brought relief in their families.
Ta taimaka mana saboda muna cikin wani hali kuma gashi ta zo ta ƙara taimaka mana. Saboda haka muna yawa gwamnati godiya, muna yawa wannan mulkin godiya. Ubangiji Allah ya saka da alheri.
The distribution exercise is expected to continue in other affected communities as the Commission intensifies efforts to alleviate the suffering of flood victims across the states. In Maiduguri, Fatima Isa, NTA News.
We're actually done for now from here. Ruth is back to you.
The National Orientation Agency has commended the Imo State government for its recent decision to ban lavish graduation parties for pupils of nursery, primary and junior secondary schools, describing it as a timely step towards curbing excesses and promoting responsible value reorientation among young learners. In a statement, the agency says such trend encourages extravagance and places undue financial pressure on parents who are often compelled to fund what is described as a wasteful and socially unproductive practice. The statement further added that the agency has recently unveiled a campaign against sign-out extreme practices, and a ban by the state aligns with the general purpose of the campaign. All right, next will be sports update.
Team Nigeria is set to return to Lagos this evening after a triumphant performance at the Pan-Africa Youth Scrabble Championship in Nairobi, Kenya. The Nigerian contingent dominated the competition, clinching both the Under-19 and Under-15 individual and team titles. In the Under-15 categories, Sophia Ekeruche was unstoppable, finishing unbeaten with 18 victories and an impressive cumulative score of plus 38.71. Kenya's Kingsley settled for second place. In the Under-19 division, Nigeria's prestige Achibong, winner of the Under-15 category 2 years ago, in Lagos, claimed the crown after edging compatriot Abdul Qudus Aliyu on cumulative points. Both players recorded 18 wins from 24 games, but Achibong's plus 27.94 gave him the advantage over Aliyu's plus 35.68. Team Nigeria also secured the overall team title, finishing ahead of Ghana and Kenya. Meanwhile, Nigeria's D Tigers advanced to the quarter-finals of the 2025 Afro-Basket Championship after defeating Cameroon 99-90 in Angola. The team dominated from the second quarter onward, building a 31-point lead by the third quarter before easing off in the final stretch. Josh Okogie star with 16 points and 7 assists, supported by Stan Okoye 14 points and Caleb Agada 13 points. The victory sealed Nigeria's unbeaten 3-0 run at the top of Group B, while Cameroon will seek qualification through the playoffs. In tennis, British top seed Emma Raducanu and Jack Draper are set to face each other in the revamped U.S. Open mixed doubles event in New York this week. Raducanu, 22, will team up with five-time Grand Slam champion Carlos Alcaraz, while Draper, 23, partners American star Jessica Pegula after their initial teammates Tommy Paul and Paula Badosa withdrew. The tournament organizer had faced backlash in February for scheduling the mixed doubles as a stand-alone event on 19th to 20th August, days before the men's singles competition begins on 24th August. Elsewhere, after failed settlement talks with FIFA, former France international Lassana Diarra has taken his compensation battle back to the Belgium courts, seeking damages over FIFA's unlawful transfer rules. Backed by FIFA Europe and the French Players Union UNFP, Diarra is pursuing claims in the wake of the landmark Court of Justice of the European Union ruling of 4 October 2024, which found FIFA's transfer regulations illegal. For Sport Update, Amazongo, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu expresses his heartfelt condolences to Professor Nentawe Yilwada, the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, on the passing of his mother, Mama Lydia Yilwada. President Tinubu describes her as a woman of virtue who lived a life dedicated to faith, service, and the uplifting of her community. The president enjoins the APC chairman to accept her death as the will of Almighty God and be consoled by the life of purpose his mother lived. President Tinubu prays for the repose of the soul of Mama Yelwada and beseeches God to grant the APC chairman, the entire family, and all those Mama left behind the strength to bear the loss. Mama Yelwada died on Sunday morning at the University of Just Teaching Hospital at the age of 83. Similarly, Speaker of the House of Representatives Abbas Tajuddin condoles the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Professor Nentawe Yilwada, over the death of his mother. The Speaker describes the late Lydia Yilwada as a devoted mother and community leader who served as a prominent member of the Church of Christ in Nations. Speaker Abbas urges the Yilwada family to take solace in the indelible impact their patriarch made in the family, church, and community, and the good memories she shared with everyone. And that concludes Nationwide. Thank you for being part of it. Do have a good evening. I'm Ruth Aguilera. Bye.